Welcome to our Urantia podcast, where we dive into the big questions about the universe, spirituality, and the evolution of human thought. In each episode, we explore topics that challenge our beliefs and expand our understanding of the cosmos. If you're ready to open your mind and discover new horizons, stay with us. Let's get started.
Ready for a real head trip? We're diving into the Urantia book to try and get a grip on.
It's a doozy.
Its wild cosmology and its unique perspective on God.
That's one way to put it.
We'll be focusing on the prologue from the 1993 Latin American translation, just so you know.
Yeah.
Other versions exist, but this one's our guide for today.
Good place to start.
Is that a good place to start?
The prologue kind of cuts to the chase, you know? It acknowledges that terms like God, deity, divinity,
Yeah,
they get all tangled up,
right.
and that creates a muddle we need to sort through.
It's kind of refreshing to have a text admit that.
Right. Not many do.
Yeah, exactly.
Trying to pretend it's all clear.
So instead of shying away from the complexity, the Urantia book leans right in.
Oh, it leans in, all right.
It even claims to reveal a bigger picture about our place in the cosmos.
Precisely. It starts with this idea that Earth, or Urantia, as the book calls it, is just one tiny planet
Okay.
within a vast,
Yeah.
multi-layered structure.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Unpack these layers for me. How does this cosmic map unfold?
Okay, so imagine like a series of expanding spheres.
Yeah.
Right? Urantia is part of a local universe called Nevadon.
Nevadon.
Nevadon, in turn, sits within a superuniverse called Orvanton.
Okay.
And get this, Orvanton is just one of 7 superuniverses.
7. We're not even talking about galaxies here. We're talking entire super universes, each potentially containing billions of galaxies.
Games, that's right.
It's giving me vertigo just trying to imagine the scale.
It's a lot, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
And it doesn't stop there.
Oh, no.
All 7 superuniverses
Yeah.
revolve around the central universe
Okay.
of Havona, a
Havona.
realm of unimaginable perfection.
Okay.
Together, these structures make up what the Urantia book calls the grand universe.
The grand universe, okay, I'm starting to get a sense of the scope here.
It's big.
But how does the Urantia book approach the idea of a higher power within this framework?
Well, it introduces this concept of deity, this fundamental unifying force that permeates absolutely everything.
Okay.
It's the source of all energy, all reality, even the laws of physics themselves.
So if deity is the underlying force, where does that leave God? Are they one and the same?
Here's where the Urantia book gets really interesting, okay? It distinguishes between deity as this ultimate source, right?
Okay.
And God as a personalized expression of that force.
So it's not just about recognizing the light, but understanding the nature of the energy source itself.
There you go. Yeah, you got it.
Okay, that's an interesting distinction.
Yeah.
So if we're not just talking about God in the traditional sense,
Right.
how does the Urantia book describe God within this cosmology?
Well, it posits that God, as a personal being,
Okay.
exists on 3 distinct levels:
Okay.
pre-personal, personal, and superpersonal.
Those are some big words.
We've got big words today.
Let's unpack those, starting with pre-personal. What does that even mean in this context?
The pre-personal level is best understood through the Urantia book's concept of thought adjuster.
Thought adjusters. Okay.
Yeah, imagine like a fragment of God
Okay.
residing within each of us,
Within each of us.
guiding our spiritual growth, even before we're consciously aware of it.
So like a seed of potential, almost, waiting to blossom.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
It suggests a deep connection between us and the divine, even on a subconscious level,
100%.
which is an interesting concept.
Yeah.
Now, the personal level of God is probably what feels most familiar, I would say.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
It's the aspect we pray to, the God of love, compassion, and direct interaction with humanity.
Yeah, the God that people kind of relate to, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
One that's
easier to grasp.
Easier to grasp, exactly.
So, would that be God the Father?
You got it.
Yeah.
And this is where the Urantia book's take on the Trinity comes in.
Okay.
They present God the Father, God the Son, and God the Spirit,
Yeah.
but not necessarily in the exact way you might expect.
See, the Trinity is a concept that appears in various forms across different religions, but the Urantia book seems to have its own unique interpretation.
It really does. Absolutely.
Yeah.
While it aligns with the general concept, the Urantia book introduces additional layers of complexity.
Oh no, not more layers.
I know, right?
We've got layers of the universe and now layers of God.
Exactly.
Give us a break, Urantia book.
They do love their layers, it's true.
They do.
With ideas like God the Supreme, God the Ultimate, and God the Absolute.
Which we will
unpack.
Unpack another time.
Yes.
This is already making my head spin.
Huh.
We've got these layers upon layers of the universe itself, and now we're exploring these different levels of God.
Yeah.
Each with its own unique attributes and functions.
It's a lot.
It's mind-boggling.
It's a lot to take in, but the Urantia book approaches these concepts with such remarkable detail and internal consistency
Yeah.
that it's hard not to get swept up in its vision.
It certainly pushes the boundaries of conventional religious thought.
Exactly, and that's what makes it such a fascinating deep dive.
Before we get ahead of ourselves, let's talk about the first source and center,
Okay.
a concept that seems absolutely central to Urantia's cosmology.
Right.
What exactly is the first source and center, and why is it so important?
Okay.
Give me the lowdown.
Let me see if I can do it justice.
So we're really going deep now
Down the rabbit hole.
into the heart of Urantia's cosmology.
That's one way to put it.
Tell me about this first source and center.
Okay.
What is it?
Think of it this way.
Okay.
Imagine the ultimate source of everything. Energy, reality,
Yeah.
even deity itself, right? That's the first source and center.
First source and center.
It's the uncaused cause.
Okay.
The bedrock upon which
Yeah.
this whole Urantia cosmology rests.
It sounds almost abstract.
Right.
This idea of a source beyond even our concept of deity.
It's a good one.
How does the Urantia book ground this concept in something tangible, something we can even begin to grasp?
That's the neat part.
Okay.
It connects it directly to the physical universe.
Okay.
Remember where we talked about the grand universe?
With Havona at the center,
Exactly.
right? That central universe of unimaginable perfection.
The Urantia book says that all gravitational force in the grand universe converges towards paradise.
Okay.
This central island within Havona.
Okay, so not only is Havona the central point of the grand universe in a structural sense, but it's also the gravitational anchor
100%.
for everything,
Yeah,
a point towards which all things are ultimately drawn.
that's the idea.
It's a pretty awe-inspiring concept when you think about it.
It is, really is.
Yeah.
And it doesn't end there.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, of course not.
The Urantia book takes this idea of convergence even further,
Okay.
suggesting that all minds are drawn towards the infinite spirit
Okay.
and all spirits towards the eternal sun,
Okay.
both of whom reside within paradise.
It's like this incredible cosmic dance with everything in existence, matter, mind, and spirit, all being drawn toward this central point.
All roads lead to paradise, that's what they're saying.
Right. This ultimate source.
Yeah.
This is blowing my mind.
Right.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
So how are we, with our finite minds, supposed to wrap our heads around something as vast and profound as the first source and center?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, this is where the Urantia book introduces what's called the sevenfold approach to deity.
The sevenfold approach to deity.
Yeah, they recognize
Right.
that trying to grasp the first source and center directly
Right.
might be a little bit beyond our human capacity.
Yeah, just a tad.
So they offer this pathway,
Okay.
this ladder of understanding
Okay.
that allows us to approach the divine in a more relatable, manageable way.
So like a step-by-step guide
There you go.
for approaching the ultimately unapproachable.
You got it. That's it. What are these 7 steps, and where do they lead us on this cosmic climb?
Well, the journey begins with the creator sons.
Okay.
These divine beings are responsible for shaping and guiding local universes.
Okay, so like our own.
Like our own, exactly.
Right.
And each step then leads us through higher orders of celestial beings and divine realms,
Okay.
ultimately culminating in an expanded understanding of the universal Father.
So it's not about reaching a final destination,
Not at all.
but about embarking on a journey of continual spiritual growth and understanding.
100%.
Continual growth, man, I'm exhausted just thinking about it.
It's a lifelong journey.
It is a lot.
That's what they're saying.
We've covered so much ground, from the layered structure of the grand universe to the complex nature of God as presented in the Urantia book.
We're barely scratching the surface, really.
It's a lot to process. I feel like someone just took my brain out for a spin in a super universe.
Yeah. It's a lot to take in, isn't it?
The Urantia book really doesn't hold back, does it?
Not really, no.
It's a very awe-inspiring vision of reality.
It really is.
You know, I went into this thinking we'd be looking at just another religious text,
Right.
but this is something else.
It really is.
It's like philosophy, science, poetry.
Yeah,
It's got a bit of everything.
like a wild ride.
It is a wild ride.
That's a good way to put it.
And it all sort of blends together in this really strange but fascinating way.
It's that unique blend that makes it so compelling, you know?
Yeah.
Whether you buy into it as like divine revelation or just a really interesting thought experiment,
Right.
it really makes you think.
It does.
And it sparks a sense of wonder that I think is really hard to find.
It does, and it also leaves you with this feeling that, like, we're just getting started.
Oh, yeah.
We've barely scratched the surface here.
Just dipping our toes in the cosmic ocean.
Right, exactly.
There's always more to learn.
And I think that's the big takeaway from the Urantia book,
Absolutely.
that it's a journey
It's a journey, not a destination.
of continual growth and exploration, of
Yeah.
pushing those boundaries, embracing the mystery
100%.
of it all.
Yeah, and I think that starts with acknowledging how much we don't know
Yeah.
and then taking that leap of faith into the unknown.
Into the unknown, because that's where the good stuff is, right?
That's where the fun begins.
That's where the fun begins, that's what they say.
Right, and I think as you kind of go deeper into the Urantia book,
Yeah.
what you start to realize is that it's not just about looking out at the cosmos.
Okay.
It's also about looking inward,
Okay.
exploring that divine spark within each of us.
That connection between the grand cosmic scale and our own individual journey
Yes,
is something that really resonated with me.
I think it's a powerful message.
It makes this whole thing feel very personal.
Absolutely.
Even when we're talking about these huge,
Yeah,
almost impossible to grasp concepts.
exactly. And I think that brings us to the final thought
Okay.
for our listeners to ponder as they continue their own exploration of the Urantia book.
Okay, hit us with it.
If this grand cosmology, this tapestry of interconnectedness, is even partially true,
Right.
what does it mean for how you see yourself?
Ooh, good question.
What possibilities does it open up in your life for your purpose, for your place in this vast universe?
Now that is a question that could fuel a lifetime of inquiry.
Exactly.
Maybe that's the point.
Maybe it is.
The Urantia book doesn't give us the answers.
Right.
It just gives us a bunch of really interesting questions.
It gives us a starting point.
It does.
It invites us to engage in the search.
It invites us to start asking the big questions
That's very
about
simple.
ourselves and the universe and everything.
And maybe that's enough.
Maybe it is. All right. Well, on that note,
On that note,
you're going to have to leave it there.
until next time,
Until next time, thank you for joining us on this wild
wild ride.
ride through the Urantia book.
See you next time.
See you later.